guy's my warrior, I'm a leader.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
Oh,
Warrior, I'm a leader.
my guy's my warrior, I'm a hero.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
Please serve Almighty God.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
My guy's my warrior, I'm a hero.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
Jesus, you are my God.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
My guy's my warrior, I'm a winner.
Warrior, I'm a leader.
He's still before me. He's still behind me. He's moving everywhere. My God, my protector. One way they shall gather, 7 ways they shall scatter. My enemy will fall under my feet. That's right. My God has lifted me higher. My God is my warrior, I'm a leader. Oh, my God is my warrior, I'm a hero. Warrior, 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 warrior. My God is my warrior, I'm a winner. Jesus, you my God. My God is my warrior, I'm a hero. Oh, winner, winner, winner. Winner, winner, winner. Winner, winner, winner. You are a winner. I am a winner. Winner, winner, winner. Winner, winner, winner. You are a winner. Someone when you know you should have killed me before my time. But understand that I am more than a conqueror. I am untouchable. I am unremovable. I am unshakable and undefeatable. Moto, moto, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Holy God, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Holy Ghost fire. Moto, moto, moto. Holy God, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Moto be fire. Are you ready to declare and decree that? Are you ready to? Come on. To the right, moto. To the left, moto. Moto, moto, moto. To the front, moto. To the back, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Holy God, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Jump, jump, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Sing, sing, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Clap, clap, moto. Moto, moto, moto. Dance, dance, moto. Hey, hey. My guy's my warrior, I'm a leader. Warrior, warrior, warrior. My guy's my warrior, I'm a hero. Hey, my guy's my warrior, I'm a winner. I got my Jesus. He's my hero. He gave me victory. My guy's my warrior, I'm a leader. Oh, Lord, I wanna be wherever you are. Your presence is so very nice for me. Lord, I wanna stay wherever you are, Papa. Your presence is so very nice for me. Where can I be without your presence? Your presence is so very nice for me. Your presence, your presence, your presence, your presence. Your presence is so very nice for me. For a place all my life, a place I can call my home, a place I can feel safe and rescue. No, I find them, hey, I find them until I enter. Hey, your presence, mountain must bow. In your presence, my promise shall bow. Even the earth can never stand. In your presence, the next shall shine like the day. Your presence can sight to the blind. Your presence can heal it to the cripple. Your presence caused the dead to rise again. Your presence, Lord. Your presence of paradise for me. Lord, I wanna be in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. Mountain must bow in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. Disappointment must bow in your presence, Lord. Your presence is a paradise for me. I have liberty in your presence, Jehovah. Your presence is a paradise for me. If he get commanded in a traveling in your presence, and it was so. Just give her now, she entered your presence and was given, oh child. I remember Jacob, he said, I'm not leaving here for your presence until you bless me. Oh, King David said, cast me not away from your presence. Take not your spirit from me. Lord, if your presence doesn't go with us, oh Lord, we will not leave. I call your presence, call your presence. Your presence is a paradise for me. In your presence, frustration must bow. In your presence, barrenness must bow. No demon can stand. In your presence, Lord, no mountains can stand. In your presence, Lord, your presence is a paradise for me.
All right, folks, good evening and welcome to today's editions of Liberia Public Radio. I'm sitting in here for the Liberal Progressive, SAMSON, but he will also be joining the conversation. But he asked me to sit in for him. That's what we do. We do sort of interchanging. Let me just move this here. It's a commercial. We're going to bring that in. So he's going to be joining us, of course, our senior contributor to the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. He's based in Atlanta, Georgia. So Mr. Amos George, he's going to be here. Hopefully, Professor Zhao will be joining us. And for and of course, our beautiful follower, both listener of here at Liberia Public Radio. We want to thank you so much for your commitment and for the time you keep sharing with us. Do us a favor. For some reason, from my end, I'm not sure whether it's something Toe Hands is involved from Toe Time. This is a guy who always is one of those champion the conspiracy theory on this network. Almost 2 weeks, believe me. My share button is there, but it's not working. And he, as a technical guy, he said he can't do anything about it. In fact, ridiculously as he was sounding, someone this total thing here to sanction him to silencing. And he will, I'm setting in for him tonight. Friday is his day. I'm setting for him, so I'm going to be a co-host. But here is the deal. And I told him, even though he did not answer, in as much as I'm going to be a co-host, the program is this is that his slot. Let me just put it that way. But nothing is guaranteed. I have the ability. I'm in charge. So when he tries to go over his speed limit, believe me, I will sanction him. I will mute him. But let's see this year. The President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, was in Harper during the weekend on a national tour. We're going to be discussing a wide range of issues here, and we certainly want you to be part of this conversation. All we require is respect for one another. Even the viewers or listeners, you can disagree with your friend. That's part of the conversation. But we can just moderate our tone in terms of the language that we use to be a little bit careful. You know, that would be good because it allows us to find a common ground. As the president, there was a live performance. We'll hopefully to bring in that video. This is how the Marylanders do it. And I thought that's how the president was going to do it. I am Alfonso Z, and so I will be right back. Oh my goodness, that's the Maryland. That's how to do it in Maryland. I thought that's how the president was going to do it, but the president took a new direction. Okay, the Liberal Progressive is standing by. Branto, Amos George. I'm going to be breaking in on live screen here. Hopefully, he will be gracious to me here this evening for sitting in for him. He's unable to do it. And I have to squeeze in my time to sit in. So I'm going to see how he's going to welcome, how he's going to adore me here this evening. I want to who he is. That will make him look cool. Elephant skin. Let's see what I'm going to soften here this evening. Let me bring in the Liberal Progressive. I'm Alfonso Z, and so of the Liberia Public Radio. Okay, to our beautiful people, welcome to this evening Friday talking point. There you see him, he's in his paramount chief gown. That's the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio, SAMSON Brown Toe. Mr. Toe, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. So. Thank you very much for sitting in for me tonight. It's a wonderful thing for me to be on the other side of the mic here this evening. I want to thank you very much for sitting in while I'm enjoying myself.
So why are you trying to prove to me? What are you showing there? To prove what?
Mr. So, look what I'm wearing right now. Parliament chief. So usually the Parliament chief, they're supposed to have these kinds of things. This is the original cartel. It's not just from Town. After they made a cartel, got the cartel from Town, then it went all over the BI before coming to me.
Okay, let me bring in somebody who's going to stabilize you here because you seems to be running over the place here. I'm wondering, let me bring in Pa George here. Pa George is our senior contributor. He based in Atlanta, Georgia, volunteering, giving back to the community. Mr. Amos George is joining us here this evening. Pa George, good evening.
Yes.
Yeah. This guy, Samson told not pressing your audio again this evening. You need to change that audio. Your audio. Something not going right.
Well,
you want me to get you off and see what I can fix it? Okay, let me get. So I say, Mr. Toe.
Yes.
I'm wondering, isn't the same cartel somebody told you your boy from Walmart? Is that the same cartel you're still traveling with?
Well, they don't know what a cartel is. You see this cartel? You see how it falls? This is the cartel that was given to me from Town. So there's no way you can go buy Walmart, the malnourished cartel from Walmart. I don't get that kind of thing.
Okay, I'm just asking because I'm a how you call it, concerned person, and so They already raised apprehensions about the scouting. But folks, we want to welcome you to just do a favor to share that video. For some reason, my share button is being off. So just do what, invite someone at your end. But before we go through and get going at this evening here, let me see here. I want to take this time to, on behalf of management and staff of the Liberia Public Radio. I think it was a day before yesterday, the tragic that unfolded outside of Monrovia, specifically around the Samuan Kayendo Spokes Complex, the disaster, the calamity, heartbreaking event. The young lady who fought so hard went through her educational program, and I also has the right to celebrate her joy, her as a lady, as a woman, as a mother, knowing fully well how difficult it is in Liberia to go through esoteric. I want to welcome you. I've tried to get you on here, but some reason maybe you want to do it a sound way. Yeah, for this lady, after completing her studies at the university, state-run university in Liberia, Madam Millard, Nancy Millard, according to report, her name, celebrations, and it just ended up being a disaster. For her to be killed, mother died, her only daughter, 7 other persons, 8 in total. That is it's heartbreaking. Mr. Toh, I want us to acknowledge that, and you as a father as well, being in school, knowing what it is, how difficult it is in Liberia, and yet and still some people still strive to get that educational excellence. I would hope to contribute to their country. Only at the end of the celebrations next morning for neighbors and the community to wake up to such a disasters. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was very troubling and very sad for the family and friends of this young lady. Going to school, even here in the diaspora, it's not an easy task. Besides studying and what have you, going to college. It's a difficult task, and especially places like Liberia. When I was in school, I have a system that I have for myself where things was so hard, definitely. And for the whole semester, I won't sweep my apartment. My wife would try doing it. No, I will not touch anything. I have my study room where it's all messy, but I know what my things are. So, but at the end of the day, I know where to go to get my stuff. To study is not something easy. And let me just tell you something very quickly. Many of you, I know you guys, this is not the, I'm just going on tangent here, but I want to compare something here. There's a video some time ago, maybe a year or so ago. What's his name? Martin Collin had a video. And in the background of that video, he had a books stacks up almost to the ceiling. And if you watch that video, you will understand why Martin Collin is so smart. Because this is what is required for you to get a degree. You have to sacrifice, you have to read, you have to do a lot of stuff. And for this young lady to go through all of this process, and it just happened in like that, that's very sad. That's very sad. But we pray that the family and friends and relatives will take solace in the fact that she accomplished something before she died. And that God will be with them and truly comfort them as well.
Yeah, when I saw the images around the sport complex, and then information started coming in to our team, our correspondents, they were also there. They did a story after talking to some family members and other news media outlet. They were all there and start getting the details. I was like, oh my goodness, this is not good. I mean, for school as a whole, because I remember 1985, 86 at the William V. S. Tutman High School before I left there. It came a time all students of folks that were attending Tutman High, as long, even if you were just by coincidence wearing the maroon and white, believe me, no taxi driver wants to take you, no bus driver, because we had some bad students, to be honest, who when they descend, they don't pay the taxi driver or the bus driver. Also, for this reason, all of us, or students that were in Wellandvia Stepman High School, they were all to labor. As long as you at that bus stop, or as long as you standing or you show your hand, except that driver sees reason or some for whatever reason, you in that maroon and well forget it. 85, 86, 87, you're not going to get no way. And I know how tough it is. Our hamburger was what? You ate this cassava with coconut? That was a hamburger those days. Taught me High student. Michael Gable knows the story. He was there. A lot of folks here thought that was the hamburger. My man Michael Chie, he's now in Manchester City, United Kingdom. He knows the story. You ate that or that time you were already here? You ate hamburger, something to cassava?
No, when I was in school in Monrovia, you guys hamburger, you're enjoying yourself. We used to eat farina with hot dog.
I'm talking about cassava with coconut. You talking?
No, that's better. Farina with hot dog biscuit with one cube of sugar. That was life then.
Wow. Yeah.
No, Mr. So many of us here in the diaspora, many Liberians that are educated now, that have good jobs, and we all went through a lot of pain in Liberia to go to school. So when you hear this young lady passing, many Liberians, especially those who were able to go to high school in Liberia or even college in Liberia, can feel the pain, because sometimes you don't eat anything. Yesterday you have to go to class. Sometimes you come from class, you have no food, but yet still you're ready to study. People used to put their feet in a bucket, in the water, just so that they can stay awake to be able to study. So to find this young girl and her family to go through all of it, it's very painful, very painful.
Yeah, it's I had to comprehend that. I think Pa George is here. Let's see whether the audio is perfect. Pa George, are you there? Oh my goodness. What's going on with this audio here this evening? Something we need to do. Let me try do something unusual here. Sometimes it's good to motivate about Mr. Toe. We're going to get a talking point going very shortly. But let me along the way, I will try to acknowledge that Patricia Cooper from Cooper. We want to welcome you to Mr. Is a President Yanwe to Margaret Stopperfield Johnson. Thank you for joining us. Beslot Solomon Moses, Josephine Vincent, Chester Towel. Helena Tali, Augustine Williams, of course, our valuable followers always when we hear. I'm talking about no other person than Munan. Munan Tai, good evening. Hopefully your day went well. Thank you for always following us. Josephine Vince, we want to welcome you. If this is your first time here, Moses Dropot Madie. JJ Sarkosinian, I love that name, JJ Sarkosinian. And Venus was saying, I see it, Chester, Samuel Chester, and Kamara, and the list goes on and on, John. We want to welcome all of you. If this is the first time, we urge you make this network your homepage to see, to share with us your contributions in terms of suggestion as to how we conversation is what matters. We all to is one of our valuable listeners. What
Mr. So, you need to check your audio as well. I think you and Pa George are having a serious problem with audio issue this evening.
My audio?
Yes, keep breaking in and out.
You see, you brought. Okay, let me ask my man, Robert. Please let me know, or any of the folks, Exeter.
Here we go.
Make George telling me my having issues.
No sound. You're breaking in and out, Mr. So. No, at least from my end.
Okay, so let me see here, folks. Please do me a favor. Esoteric or Chester or even Rabbit. Audio by Rabbit. I see yes. I don't wish I yes that. So let me see. Hopefully, yeah. There's a glitches in your audio. Oh, okay. So let's see here. Let me just take a break. Musical break here, and hopefully we can do that. So let's see here. What's going on here tonight? Let's go on here. Let's go here. Let's try it. And
Jesus, you my God. My best, my warrior, I'm a hero. Winner. You are a winner. I am a winner. Winner. You are a winner. The moment you know you have killed me for my time, but not this time that I am more than a conqueror. I am untouchable. I am unrepeatable. I am unshakable and undefeatable. Are you ready to declare and decree that? Are you ready to go? Come on. To the right, to the left, to the back,
okay, let me see here. Hopefully the audio is okay. Something you say? Any improvement?
Yes. Up to this point, yes.
Okay, so please don't take the account again, for God's sake, please.
Because then you need to respect my cocktail.
They come from that malnourished Walmart layer. I don't know, from Cape Mount or from what a Burlington coal factory you bring here and contract to temper with my audio. Let's get back here, guys. Please give us feedback just in case, because sometimes it's good for our aim, but you are the one to be the real. We are serving you. So if we do anything here doesn't meet your desire, your taste, our being here just not in. It's just useless. Just let us know, let us know if the audio is good. Break. And just know that we have to respect you guys to show give perfect audio to understand what we'll be saying, so that we too can get a feedback. Yeah, again, our prayer and thought goes out to the family, and it is why it is. The president has been touring the country, right? And something amazing. I saw this video here. So let's play this here a little bit, because then hopefully maybe what his name, Councillor Johnson. Do we still have him here? I'm not sure what I still have in here. Okay, but okay, he's still here. Let me play Councillor Johnson, who gives warning. There was an alarm raised of what he claimed the president is not doing his job, and he's going to file in a rake of McDonald's, mandating the president to do a job. But the president went on a tour, and the president exhibited his talent. That's part of what is in his DNA. So let's see what Councillor Johnson first said in the past, and then we're going to bring the president, and we're going to pick it up from that point. Let's see. Let's roll this tape.
This is True FM. I'm in the presence of criminal lawyer, Councillor Arthur Johnson. Councillor Johnson, wants to say welcome to this special interview.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. The president has come up with another new message, and you, as a criminal lawyers and as a citizen of the country, you are seen to be embarrassed by his new music. What do you make of it?
Yes, Toby, my concern is this. This is the fourth song that our president is making. It is not about questioning his talent to sing. It is about the situation in the timing. It is just like this, Toby. You leave home, you go back home, you left your home hungry, the children are hungry, and I go back as a father, I beat the children all lying hungry, and I start to sing and dance and celebrate without carrying food. They feel disappointed about me as a father in the land. So is the situation now. We can have people are suffering. People are actually suffering in this country. Nothing is happening. You have serious social problems affecting the country. Problems or conditions that affect a significant number of our people by interfering with their individual and collective goals. And so it requires a collective action. But when we have our president in the presidency sinking again, as if there is nothing, it's like he's ignoring the situation is what is obtaining in the country. It's a provocation. It sounds as a sign of provocation to the Liberian people. The president needs to understand and focus on dealing with the mounting social conditions and problems that are affecting the life and the generation of our children to come in this country.
But Councillor Johnson, are we not aware that this president is a star before becoming president?
He was a football star. He's now the president. He's the president. He's not a singer. He's not a footballer again. He's the president. He's the father of the nation. He's the philosopher king. He should be the philosopher king. He should be the president now to lead the country.
For your statement, it appears that you are embarrassed.
Obviously, I am. It's not only being embarrassed, but frustrated and worried about the future and the destiny of the country.
So, as a lawyer, why are you concentrating on doing?
The president doesn't stop what he's doing. It's like he feels that everything is all right, and there is nothing all right. He saw that from the results of the election. So, if the president doesn't think about stopping this thing, to sing again another song, which may be the fifth song, I think we will have to file a petition for the issuance of the writ of mandamus against the president for him to do the Liberian people's job as president of the country.
Do you think your action will be legal?
It will be legal. A petition for the issuance of the writ of mandamus is a writ asking the court to compel an official of government, ordering him to do what is legally officially bound that they should do based on the official capacity of the office that they represent. And so this would be the step that some of us will be taking for history to record these things. But the president has to be aware. People around the president need to tell the president that things are not well.
Okay, that things are not well. That was I'll try to get this video here for some. Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on one second. Are you getting my audio? You hearing me good? Are you hearing me? Samson, can you check your audio?
Yeah, my audio is fine, but you're still breaking in and out.
Is it still breaking in?
Yeah. So I think you might have to change your mic system.
Or you were playing with something when I was just doing music?
Not yet. I really like for you to put me into the grill system tonight. So I would not do anything.
You see, please, you asked me, you try to bring you're becoming an embarrassment here. You asked me to sit in for you, and you brought in your Walmart layaway, and it seems to be making problems. Is it still breaking in?
No, much better.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, folks, y'all bear with me. This is what I deal with on a daily basis. Okay. That was Councillor Arthur Johnson. Is that really a valid point? But before we get to that, we will have a really lengthy conversation, not conclusively tonight, but we want to time to get other sides involved here. But this is the president recently in Maryland County. Let's see here. Let's see here. What? Let me see. I'm not sure where the audio is not. Okay, I'm not sure why. Are you getting the audio? For some reason, I'm not getting the audio yet. Okay, I know a lot of folks have seen that. Let me just pause it here. Let's get to the conversation here. Hopefully, we will fix the audio later on. Okay, that was the president. Can Arthur Johnson still come back to see the president still singing? I think that Mr. Liar man, he was singing that at the in Maryland County.
Well, no, Mr. Johnson comment for me, they're laughable.
Oh my goodness. So sorry. Just unfortunately kicking the system. So please just join the system again. Oh, that was a mistake on my part. The Liberal Progressive. Oh, he's gonna dive me this evening here. Let's see here. I don't know why the audio. Let me see what I can play this here. For some reason, the audio is not. I'm not getting the audio from my end. I'm not sure what's going on. I really wanted to play it, but the audio for I don't know why is that how the tip something. But that's the president exhibiting his talent, his skill. It reminds me of the late Warrant Vacanera Shadrach Tubman. Okay, let me move this here and bring what's going on with Mr. Toe? Mr. Toe, what's going on with your system? Please come back. Let's see what happens. I have to stop this thing here. I'm not sure what our music is playing in the background. Maybe I need to get it off here. I don't know what it causing the problem. Samson, please come back again. Let's see what happened. Well, folks, just bear with us. He will be here very shortly, and we're going to have this conversation going. For some reason, these are technologies, and sometimes it becomes a little bit pain, and that seems to be the situation we experience this evening. The audio, when Mr. Toe comes in, is going off. Per George having difficulties as well. So let's see. I'm not sure what I should get a new link to, but let's just wait and see what if it comes in. We're going to be the next step here. Just bear with us, and as soon as Mr. Toe comes in, we will get this program going. Hopefully I'm not noticing anything far being played. You know, sometimes these technical problems, you know, they exist. Yeah, so let's wait and see here. In the meantime, let me just give you this. This guy, he's from right here from our own ocean state of Rhode Island. DJ Achivon is one of the hottest DJs, sensational DJ right here, based in the ocean state of Rhode Island. Better days ahead.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. Dishonesty, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises for no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days. Better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays. Holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days. Better days, money in your pockets. Holidays only for the bosses, the bosses, the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are gonna eat? Yeah, so Sati and we waiting. Yeah, so. Waiting and we happy, oh. They don't really care about you. They don't care, my people, it's true. They don't wanna see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders I barely many mentions. We don't know where the money come from. Attention, corruptions. Why nobody asks the question? They need to be in detention. 40 in our nation. Think about the children, think about the future. Whoa, think about the families, what they're gonna eat. Yeah, so, whoa, yeah, so. Something I will work to you. Can't the other children know? Yeah, so. Can't you hear them crying? What do we hope you? Hope you and hope you. Yeah, so. What's the good to me? Yeah, so. Oh, something I will work to you. Can't you hear the children cry? Yeah, so. Whoa, what do we hope you? See them waiting, see them crying. What you gonna do? Oh, yeah. What you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? Can't you hear the children crying? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do? Yeah, so.
Okay, that's DJ Achivon. He's based right in the ocean state of Rwanda. Not sure what's going on with So I'm trying to reach in there, but even Per George, for some reason, whatever the situation is, he's not responding. So I guess he's fine, but I soon get a message from him. We're gonna get it rolling here as soon as possible. The DJ Achivon making a contribution, and that was the president performing in Maryland County, Mr. Liarman. I believe that that's on Mr. Liarman. I'm trying to see here if I can really get the song. I don't know why I couldn't play. Let me take a shot again one more time. Hopefully, we can get it going here. I just want to see. I want to see how it looks like. Just give me a minute, and I will see here what we can bring it. Yeah, this is why it is. For some reason, it looks like the audio is just. I think get a bad audio. Or they took it off. They took the audio off for some reason. It's still not playing. The audio is not coming through. That's weird. Okay, so we will just continue on. So let me just get this here. All right. I think the Libra is back here. Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Wow. What was happening? You guys stuck on the highway or what?
Well, this is the age of technology. Things happening.
Okay. Yeah. I thought so. I hope it's not my fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least good that you made it. Okay, let's get a conversation going. It's late here already, 9:18 Eastern Standard Time here. Okay, we're just talking about the song, and I believe you were in the process. You were speaking regarding Councillor Johnson, but we're going to have extensive conversation here with the president's visit. You saw that in a group chat, and to make it fair, we will have other people who see it as a valid argument or initiated by the president, but what it hopes to bring in return, that's the most important thing. Can Johnson still make issue out of this?
Well, as I was saying, Mr. So, to be honest with you, for me, from my perspective, I think Mr. Johnson's comment is laughable from the face. First thing is this: the president has the right, even though he's president of the Republic of Liberia, but there's nothing in his daily activities or his leadership, whatever portfolio that will prevent him from doing what he's doing, singing and things. If that's what he wants to do in his song, if this is how he wants to deliver the message, it's up to him and the voters. It has nothing. None of us should be able to say you can't do this. We can say it, but we're not the people that employed this young man to be the leader of the Republic of Liberia. All you can say is to say this is not the way I would govern. That's understandable. But to say that
did I hear you saying that it is not all that employ him? Is that what you're saying, or what?
No, the Liberian people employ him. But what I'm saying, after the employment, he has a contract with the Liberian people, and the contract is still in the process of implementing that contract, which is the 6-year term. Now, Mr. Johnson, if he feels the president is doing something that is not conducive to his leadership ability or bringing in some sort of a fruit from his leadership ability, then he can then argue after the contract is over. But to argue now that the president cannot and should not do that, I think is laughable.
So then what is the point when he can air his grievances now, when he can speak out to things that he strongly believes not right in his view, in his opinion? That necessarily not suggest that what he's saying is right. Why should he wait until after the time? Then what's the point of speaking
No,
out?
I'm not condemning him. He has the right to say whatever he wants to say. But the point that I'm making is it has no effect, and it must not have any effect on the president whatsoever. If the president wants to make 4 or 5 songs a day, it's up to him. The point that I'm making is Mr. Johnson will do better to convince the contract people who contract with Dr. Weah to be their leader, to convince them to say this is not the way this man's supposed to lead, and wait until the contract time expires. Then you can argue that. But to come out now to say the president must stop and this, that, it's laughable.
Well, I kind of try to wrap this around my head, but I'm still finding it difficult to understand. So,
Mr. So, if you don't understand, I'm a liberal. I look at things from a broad perspective, one thing. Second thing is, as a liberal, you must be able to provide room for people to disagree with you. You must be able to provide room for people to agree with you. I'm not here a narrow-minded person to come on this platform and try to argue my point. The point that I'm making, many people might not even agree with me. That's okay. I'm not here to be praise singer. The point that I'm making is this. The president didn't come to this position, and you know I'm not one that defend the president, but I want to be factual. The president didn't come to this position.
You are trying to sanction Mr. Johnson's argument.
No, far from it, Mr. So.
Why were you telling them to wait until after the term?
No, I didn't say he should wait. Let me say this again. Okay. Mr. Johnson has the right to express himself, but I also have the right to claim and say this is laughable, because Mr. Johnson was not the only Liberian who signed a contract with Dr. Weah to leave.
Then don't tell him that he have to wait until the 6-year.
No, I said the best place, that argument would be suitable.
No. Then don't even make recommendation. Why? Because you are not.
Why not? What, Mr. So, this is why you see you're trying to go on a route that perhaps might not sit well with us tonight, and I think we got a long way to go. I will be careful, and I'll slow down with you. The point that I'm making, Mr. So, this argument will be suitable when the contract expires, and Dr. Weah. If Dr. Weah is seeking second term or seeking to renew the contract, Mr. Johnson then will come up and say, no, we shouldn't give him another contract because we gave him contract before, he didn't perform. And these are the reasons why I'm saying it. But now the contract is still in force, and now you want the president to stop. You don't determine how the president perform. Let the president perform. The president have policy. If he thinks sinking will do the work for him, so be it.
So here is my version, and here how I see it as well. You are creating, or you're trying to construct what a term a commentary after the event. You know, football commentator does when they're playing the game, commentary, or news editorial, they give a commentary after the event. That's why you are telling us here again, this liberal guy. That's why you are telling us, and at the same time, putting it in that sort of correctness to say, okay, don't say this, but wait until at this period of time. So what's the point? Why are you making a recommendation when something is not going right with AIM? I have the right to speak. It does not suggest that you should even err your side, but you against what Johnson is doing. But at the same time, you are making a recommendation. So I see that.
No, Mr. So you're mixing apple and orange, and they don't go together in terms of politics. Let me say this again. Mr. Johnson has the right to speak up of what he believes is the issue with the president and the policy, or whatever it is. My point is, I'm suggesting, in fact, I'm not even suggesting, I'm saying it's laughable from my perspective. Mr. Johnson, being a lawyer, first thing, Mr. Johnson being a lawyer should recognize that he has representative. And so if the president is doing anything, anyone who has the legal frame of work to approach the president to be the legislature.
He should go to his representative. Is that what you suggest?
Yes, and complain.
This is ridiculous. Let's see here. Let's get.
You want to build an institution, but yet still you want the institution to be hollowed in by Mr. Johnson and the current and the light to go and hollow in the institution that you're trying to build. Executive.
He's not. He said if the president continues, there is a condition also attached, and he knows the rule, and that's why he called the rate of McDonald's. Before that happens, it has to go through the legislative branch of government. He has not even reached to that point. He also is Samuel line. But before you come, let's get some reaction from our onliners here. They are the people that are getting us here. This is what Mr. Prosper Tai Quincy Rule is saying. I understand Mr. Toll point. He is saying that the president has some spare times in his professional time. If he chooses to make music during his spare time, what's wrong with that? Good question. Do you think the time he took to go to his studio has an effect on his work schedule? Well, I think he added a piece of pie here. And Mr. Root, if you want to even call to maybe expand on your point, good point. We you read that? You saw
that? Yes, Mr. So, and I just want to add on that. For example, if the president was to come out and form and put out some policy, and while the policy is being implemented, he decided to interrupt the implementation process of the policy, that you can say the president is not effective. But because the president is thinking Mr. Liar, and you're saying that's not effective? No. I can come out and say the president sinking Mr. Liar and other things, those are destructive things. But that is not something that I'm going to hold the president on until 2023.
Okay, fair point. Well, yeah, Francis, Mr. Zizi said the law said if the president produces a new song to not singing. Yes, that's quite correct. I was just saying what people pick on every little thing. What are they going to kind of like? Okay, and I know how oppositions and even people on the other side, everybody looking for the political. Okay, he has gone on a tour. He should be focusing. Yes, but these are all traditions. They are different things. You can also mix into it, so that's quite understandable. Thank you for your contribution. Now Quincy came back here. The amendment was what to connect with your audience. There are many ways, I believe you want to say, there are many ways to connect with your audience. I do not believe that the president singing will impair his function as president. Correct point, correct argument, Mr. Toll?
I will not go that far because I am not a medical doctor to determine as to whether the president's thinking will impair his thinking and what have you. I don't have that kinds of qualification, and I will not speak to such thing. However, what I can say and what I think Mr. Johnson perhaps was trying to say is to appeal to the emotional aspect of the Liberian. And Mr. Johnson, his point is quite correct. The Liberians are suffering. And he doesn't see why the president would take time to go to the studio. My point is, give it to Mr. Johnson. However, to come and make it into some sort of an issue that perhaps you want the legislature to take it up to the president by going through the court system and stuff like that. Mr. Johnson, that process is going to hollow in the institution of the judiciary system, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. See, we'll try to make it more interactive here because these are the people who sign up for to be here. The audience, the people represent different grounds. It's political affiliations. Some of them are free thinker here. This is what Drake Exeterate is saying. Did he say George Weah is a philosopher king of Liberia? No, I think that's a wrong usage of the Platonic expression, philosopher king. All right, there you have it. So people are giving reaction here. Okay, what's about the opposition? For so long, government, GOL, the government of Liberia. And I will find time for us to discuss recent thing that happened in the Senate with respect to the vice president. But there's a limited information that I want to have, if not all, good chunk, but to make it like a main. But on the surface, I listened to Representative Akaras Gray, and he went ballistic on the vice president. And I owe no apology. We just do the surface here because I want maybe Professor Zawlo to be here too. You are a liberty partisan of base USA Liberia, whatever affiliation. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But I want him to be so he can respond to that. So let's just look at the president's visit. I guess he's wanting out his visit. That brings release hear from the president upon his return in a conclusive context. He saw for himself and what the government going to be putting for. Or we see some sort of a press conference or some sort of release that will condense and summarize the entire of the president in one structure. Will we see that, or is it just after this visit? That's what we're going to be, or do you think we're going to hear from the opposition as well?
Mr. So, let me say this to you in terms of, because we don't have all of the information to make a definite pronouncement here tonight, and so I will try to stay away from it, but I will just speak from a general term in terms of what is happening in Liberia with the vice president. The vice president, from my perspective, has been disrespected over and over, and this president and none of the hierarchy in the CDC have come to defend. So whatever is happening right now, I'm not surprised. And here's what's going to happen. Okay, if they are not very careful, I think I told you that 2-3 months ago.
Who not very careful?
If the government of Liberia are not very careful, especially CDC, if the way they're treating the vice president, who is also a woman, a sister, a mother in the Republic of Liberia. Let me try to remind all of the audience. They are putting this government, this particular government, the issue they're having with the vice president, from my point of view, they are putting themselves in a very, very big bad book with the United States. Why do I say that? The current UN ambassador, Liberia, I mean, America ambassador to the UN was one ambassador to Liberia. Okay, US representative in the UN. Greenfield is before going to Liberia, she studied in Liberia. I think she spent a year in Liberia, so she is quite versed with the Liberian culture before even coming to serve. She served. She's very close to most of the Liberian women. Okay, and Madam Howard is one of those. She's also now serving in the UN. The second thing, the American government is quite aware of this Me Too business. Me Too, the women putting together to defend themselves because they believe the men are continuing to misbehave. If they continue like this, and the more they try to engage the vice president in the negative sense, the vice president is generating more sympathy in the international community. And sooner or later, Dr. Weah and his people are going to be approached, and it's not going to look good. Let's go. Let me take it back to Liberia. With this kinds of issue that they're having with the vice president, quite frankly, they most likely have given up on Bond County. I don't care how much you call Bond County, you think you have it in your bag. You don't. You cannot continue to have these kinds of issue with a daughter of a Bond County and you expect to get a vote to win Bond County. It's not happening. So, with all of these things and many other things that I've seen, what I'm suggesting to you, it might be laughable as well to many people. They might think that I'm funny and this is a joke. I think this president and this CDC, Mr. So, I think this trip that they're making is a farewell trip. It's a farewell trip to say, thank you, Liberians. I no longer want to be president. And so this is for me, it's a farewell tour to tell the Liberian people and that he will not seek re-election. Because you don't intend to seek re-election and behave the way the people are behaving.
Wait a minute. Oh, Mr. Todd, you have rebranded everything here completely. Fair it in the simplest form that my last time now. So I will be going. So let me just do this. Is that a fair way you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Why am I saying that, Mr. So? Let's look at the recent, since December. Let's look at the recent development of this government and those who are supposed to implement the policy of this government, specifically pro-poor agenda. Now, let's look at this thing. Go ahead.
No, go. Don't worry.
Okay.
I will get you.
Okay, that's fine. You can bring it on anytime. Yours, Tiny Sedition. I'm here tonight. SAMSON told the liberal progressives, ready, come and make your call and see if you can dislodge me from my platform. But anyway, Mr. So, this is what I'm saying. Let's take it serious. Since December, the CDC government was flogged massively in most of the counties in Liberia. They put out candidates in these different counties, and people defeated them. They did not defeat these people because they were defeating Dr. Weah. Far from it. Let me say this. Let's try to separate Dr. Weah from the policy. Dr. Weah from the policy. Because Dr. Weah is popular. He's the most popular person in the Republic of Liberia, from where I stand. However, those who are supposed to implement the policy has failed him. And these policies that are in place, that people talk about, Liberians are not benefiting from his policy. So when he put up candidate during the December senatorial election, they were giving a warning, or strong warning, by defeating the candidate of CDC and everyone else that Dr. Weah picked. Now, you would think in 3 years, since 3 years ago, nothing good has happened in this country.
So let me hold you there right there, Tab. Let's have a little bit interactive here. What we saw in December from the senatorial races across the country, Is it equivalent to the rejections of Dr. Weah comes 2023? Is that what you're driving?
No, 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 no. Far from it. If Dr. Weah was to stand, not the policy and not whatever it is, like, but just basically on his own popularity, nobody can going to defeat Dr. Weah. Nobody. But Liberians are now smart to these kinds of stuff. You remember during the December senatorial election in Mozarel County, you saw how the rest of this Tomofala and his people, you saw the gathering at the SKD Stadium. Nobody could believe that they were going to be defeated because the amount of people that show up, if all of those people were to vote just for Mozarel County CDC candidate, CDC, but they didn't. They show up and they recognize that these people were not carrying out the promises that they had promised the Liberian people. And the Liberian people are not benefiting from whatever it is these people talk about. So, but the Liberian people have the ability to separate the man they love and the policy that the man is putting out, but not yet being implemented by those who are supposed to carry out. And the fight, this is why they're going to hold Dr. Weah. They're saying, and I'm just speculating, they're saying, we love you. Look at the welcome he got all over the county, in Nima County, in Granjide, and all over. They're saying, we love you, but your policy is not benefiting us. And this is what they're going to tell them. Because the warning they gave in Mozarel County, if you were to turn and just check out the cabinet, get people move around, that would be able to help Liberia to understand that we send a message and these people are respecting it. But what Samuel Twa is saying lately, that nothing happened. The government is on course. They're doing good. Why will you say that when the people just defeated you massively? Why will you say that? Why will you say that? You think the people rejected Dr. Weah? No, they rejected the policy because they're not benefiting from it.
So, no, he's taking a tour, visiting 6 counties, and I hope my guess is going to continue. Would that change the narrative and the issue of Samuel Twa? I'm not sure whether that's going to go off the table right now. Samuel Twa is by the right-hand side, accompanying the president as a finance minister in control of the money house area and the government of Liberia. Being on the president's right-hand side to be part of this trivia, it's a clear signal. If you look at it literally, the president, you know what? This guy is not going anywhere right now. He's with me. He's my strong confidant into this whole thing here. We are all in it together. With this trip, it's ongoing. So we yet to know how it's going to be concluded and the outcome of it. Will it help to change the narrative to bring to the president his policy, despite of all that is affording? Will there be a political dividend for the president, or soon to do that, soon to judge that?
Well, Mr. Sir, if I sit here and say no, then I'm not serious. Yes, he will get some political dividends from his trip. But for me, I consider the trip to be farewell tour. Because people, Mr. So, CDC government, come 2023, what exactly that they're going to exhibit to say, hey, look what we have done? They themselves, including the president, drove from Ganta to Zwedru, and they couldn't even walk right after that. Why were people that are in those different counties besides Granjide, let's say, why would they want to give the president and CDC the second term? What have they done? To be honest, what have they done? Except every day you go on the social media, they say they done this, we did that, we did this, we did that. They build more roads in Mozarel County than any other county. They build more artists, let's put it that way, in Mozarel County than any other county. What happened in Mozarel County? The Mozarel County rewarded them for the building of these streets? No. So why would the people that are still walking in these mud will want to reward Dr. Weah and CDC another turn? Now, Let me say this. It's possible that Dr. Weir might win. And it's not because people want to give him second term because of the policy or that work that he has done, Liberia has benefited. He might win because the opposition might give it to him.
That including you are part of that.
Include Liberty Party.
Liberty Party. Okay, let's see here. Pa George is here with us. Pa George, are you there now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, much better. All right, I believe you're out of the water now. Something to say on out of the water or underwater. All right, so thank you for being here. So the president's making the rounds in your absence. The Liberal here, I wouldn't be surprised if you side with him that CDC is pushing, almost getting the virus.
Boy, I don't know what happened.
We didn't hear your conclusion, Mr. So.
Yeah, we didn't hear it.
Yeah, I say from your argument, it seems that the CDC, the Bond County may not pivot in their direction, considering the relationship with the vice president.
Oh, sure. I mean, the reality is there already.
Where is it?
These people continue to insult this lady, and I have always say it. I have some policy differences with the vice president, but when I see people that ask her to work with them, and she deliver a content to them, now today they are throwing all the insult at her. And I'm from Bum County. Even though I got my disagreement with policy differences, but would you think I would sit down there and allow people to insult someone from my county that they asked to work with?
That's a solidarity you're forming with her, right?
Of course. Politics is tribal. If you are treating the vice president from my country like that, what will give me the assurance the next time?
We're treating the vice president like that. There are other folks that are following us here who might not get a taste or who might not get an idea. They are on the other side to think and say, okay, the vice president, in fact, is not moving in the direction of the ruling establishment or the very party that she enjoys being the number 2 person on the ticket. So how are they treating this vice president that you think is so wrong?
Let me go back a little bit. When these people first came to power, the vice president wanted to Bone County fire some people because he said if they cannot cooperate with President, we are the CDC-led government. She fired her own people, which we took our issue with her. Now, if at all she was not working with her in the interest, why would she go down that lane? Telling people that they must cooperate with the government in order to succeed. Fast forward. There are tips. A boy from Freedom FM verbally insulted this woman on national radio. Nobody said anything. She has complained. Have some people in the cabinet insult her. The person had never addressed that issue. And today you still got people masquerading around, talking to her like if to say that she's some kitchen girl to them. Look, you may not like her, but respect the office. What they did the last time, she said it. They had a meeting. She said, look, this person will not be suitable for this position to run in this county. What they did, they bypassed her and went to talk to the very person. And what happened? They lost the election in Bone County. So,
Chief Philly, let me talk to you, and I will go over to the letter here. Probably you are getting more information than I do. You from Bone County, you make a phone calls on a daily basis. you talk to people, do they feel that this vice president has been isolated by the president or by this administration, considering all that we have seen unfolding before our very eyes? Is that a thinking of people from Bongis? Is that what they are thinking? If not all, good chunk of them, is that what they are thinking?
Good chunk of them, good chunk they don't consider CDC. Look, let me say this. What the late Logan Doobie said. Not every black man is my friend, and not every white man is my enemy. What I'm saying, not every Pele people hate George Weah. Okay, let me make this clear. Not every Pele people hate George Weah, but bulk of the people don't like his attitude. Period. If there's an election, he might win some votes in Bonkande, but will he carry Bonkande? No, that I can tell you, he won't. So people should not think that when I'm saying that it is the entire county, everybody that don't like him. No. If I say so, that I will be lying. There are people who like George. We are Pele people from Bon County. But on the overhaul, no way. Majority will not go for him.
So the Liberal.
Yes.
It seems Bon County now is on edge with the ruling establishment, which the vice president is from the Bon County. And so CDC now seems to pivot in the middle to an unstable person, in my own view, opinion, who is not reliable, who can somersault anytime, who can flip the table around, is going to Prince Yomi Johnson, the senior senator or senator from Nima County. Lofa County, another vote-rich land. Joseph Boyka, former vice president, is from that corridor. We see where it's unfolding with Brandon Samuka. If you go on the other end, Grand Bassa County, your Nyombli Kanga Lauren is there. The president found himself in a volatile situation. Most of other counties seems to be like the darling boy, Darius Dillon, is all from there. Where can the CDC turn?
Well, Mr. So, as we stand, in fact, I just told you that this tour, I consider it to be a farewell tour. However, it's all not lost yet for the CDC, because the opposition, they refuse, it seems to me, to have the issue. We're talking about the government being unable to carry out some policy and thing. Yes, still, you have someone such as Musa Bility, who many Liberians have issue with, and I don't know how true those are, but the perception is that he shouldn't be in any kinds of leadership position in terms of party leadership and what have you, especially opposition. Now, if those issues in the opposition, if those things cannot be resolved before the election, that will be used against, and not used against the opposition, but most likely it will be the wedges issue within the opposition that will split them. And once that opposition is split, Dr. Weah and his people are definitely going to accept for the second term. For the second term. Now, in terms of Nima County, that's interesting, because from what I see, Prince Johnson is a very smart and shrewd politician, definitely. People might think X, Y, and Z about him, but here is what's most likely going to happen. Prince Johnson now will now look at the situation and say, Dr. Weah, come to Papa. Because Prince Johnson will now carry himself as the only person who will make sure that Dr. Weah retain the position. Because Prince Johnson will go now as godfather of Nima County politics, will now present himself. He said, Nima County is a vote-rich county. We will give you the vote, but you have, in fact, he just told you the other day, he said you want more ministerial position, and the president said, send me names. So Prince Johnson and Nima County are now positioning themselves to take the place of Lofa County, Bon County, and Grand Bassa County, and Moserado County, which is ridiculous, because here is what's going to happen most likely. Moserado County, they can still fight in there. It's not over. It's not over. Because to have Liberty Party being represented by Dallas Dillon, and you have Musa Bility, who I believe can come out and clear his name, so to speak. He has the ability, and he must do so. But to have Liberty Party, a party senator, the one he called himself light, and you have behind you a darkness, perceived darkness behind you, and you're not shining light on that darkness, and you want to shine light somewhere else, the people say, go shine the light in your own house first, then you come and shine the light in my house. That's the kinds of issues they're going to face. And if they're not careful, this is going to be the worst issue, because Unity Party and ANC will not allow themselves to be dragged down by Liberty Party. I told you before, if Liberty Party is not able to resolve the issue, Liberty Party will find themselves leading from the back.
Let me just say something. The assertion you're making, Mr. Tool, is the economy stupid? I don't think so. If the economy is stupid, then of course the people really like President Weah. This man said in 6 years, they're going to live 1 million people out of poverty. He gone 3 years. They cannot show you 5,000 people that they have lifted out of poverty. Instead of what they have done, they have plunged more people into poverty. Yeah, it's the point. It's a harmonization. You cut down people's salaries. You reduce their purchasing power. And you say that you are lifting people out of poverty. I thought when you get people more money, then of course you help to increase their purchasing power. We can help to liberate them from poverty. That has not been done. As we speak, people have not taken pay since this, I think January, going to February end. Teachers. And you're telling me, with all the problems, numerous problems, these people cannot show you one company that St. George working upon 3 years, that they have been able to hire 5,000 Liberians. Let the Labor Department come and show the Liberian people. And you touring the country, making all the big promises. Let me see how he's going to accomplish the promise that he made 3 years and compare the economy today. Look at the poor condition in Liberia today. And you telling me with all that, they will still go back to elect President Weah because he's the Messiah. I'm waiting to see that. And you may mention Nima County alone. If you put Nima County with the entire southeastern region of Liberia, they will not still be able to produce a presidency. It can't happen. It will not happen. So this notion, Prince Johnson, yes. Some Nimalian, they listen to you, will follow him. But will it be every Nimalian? I doubt it. Things are changing.
Okay.
So let me just to close on this issue. Yes, Liberty Party has a problem, which I have spoken about it. But with that problem, with that lead to President we are having a second term, then I would say something is wrong with the Liberian people. Because here we are today, corruption. Let me just throw in a note to you. Yeah, what the managing director of the report is saying, that they want to get election commission 40,000 to conduct an election in Rivers County, rerun the election there. Where you saw that happening, a popular corporation wants to borrow election commission 40,000 to run election in Rivers County, because simply the man who contested that election from CDC and has a connection with the port. Corruption, massive corruption in that country. And you tell me that the Liberian people, because of Musa ability or something like that foresee, they will re-elect President Weah. I hope God should give me a long life to see the 2023 for George Weah's second time, based on the
All right. So we always, you know, the tradition here, we incorporate our listeners, our followers, their views, their opinions, their sessions, and all of that. This is what Mr. Woodward, hopefully I'm calling your name, sir. I saw that Zonye Woodward. It's a Mr. Speaker, I believe is making a reference, or either to one of you two. Mr. Speaker, who do you have in the opposition to go against CDC? Before this question is answered here, if the relationship, the political honeymoon that is cracking, that war is cracking, there's a serious dent going into that war. Right now is within, and that's the most dangerous one. Internal, internal sickness kills a lot. It kills people. And well, let me go back here to what this person said. Nina is saying, and we're going to make the connection with the two. Nina Bodo is said the press conference that was held by Moses Sakara's Gray yesterday is an example of how the vice president is disrespected and regarded, and not regarded or whatever, regarded. Okay, so if all hell broke loose, there's no way to weigh again. When the Falcons can no longer hear the Falconers, can the CDC turn to Nimba County and potentially Uruguay can say, okay, there's a son, there's a daughter of Nimba County can go number 2. Or in the midst of all of this here, halabala that we are talking here, can Dr. Joy Howell, in her conscience, even if CDC cannot let her go, in her conscience, can she still be on that ticket? Or I'm going to stay here, and when they tire with me, they can politically execute me. It's a literal word I'm using now. They can take me off, but I'm going to be like a bone in their throat. Is that a strategy for her? And is it a workable strategy? Samson told. Do you opposition any alternative? Watch your microphone.
Yes, it's possible. It's possible. But what I think will happen, because as you correctly stated, in my country, bringing people in, and what I think most likely going to happen is this, Mr. Sir. As time gets closer, there will be people within the CDC hierarchy that will quickly understand that this fight is taking them nowhere. Because if you think you're going to get someone else to go with you without the vice president, the current vice president, you're going to bring in new person. Where you going to get that person from? Nimba County? I just don't see that. So most likely, what I think going to happen is as time gets closer, they will smoke the peace pies, publicly smoke the peace pies between the vice president and the president. And the vice president herself is quite aware of the situation. I think if you listen to some of her interview, she's now totally blaming the president for all of the mileage that's happening. She also blames herself. However, there are those who continue to drag the vice president name in ridicule and in public that is not conducive to the governing strategy that they put in place. So if this thing is not stopped, the vice president can be the spoiler. I'm not going nowhere unless they kick me out. And once they say they come out that Dr. Weah say I'm seeking re-election, but I'm going with new person, that's the end. Nobody, the Liberian population would not want to go for CDC for turning down because they have everybody. You know, she have not said anything that is against CDC that much. The only thing she said, because she always being insulted, that if people come and get your money, you'll eat it and you'll vote your conscience. Because she told them, don't take anybody over there because we already have someone in there. And sedition on their high horse and think that I know we'll do whatever we want to do. You don't do that. And so if the president comes next and says, I'm going for the second term, but I'm going with a different person, then this is actually it's a farewell tour.
Well, then it's like a piece of cloth between the scissors here. So, Pa George.
Yeah, let me say.
Before you come back, do you agree with the assertions of the two options Mr. Toh is providing? And let me just get your own take. Would the vice president remains in that position until 2023? What do you think is a strategy to be a spoiler, or you know what? I'm going to be the pain in your neck, and until they themselves can kick me out. And when they kick me out, then the public or the Liberian people will pivot Then they will agree with me that, okay, along been crying, along been saying that people along been saying that they have shown themselves. So what is the strategy of this vice president? Is that something we can dance around?
Yes. Oh, let me say this. I think the marriage should be ending next year. Next year.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. The treaty of the three or party too.
Yeah,
That's an interesting part there to see how that's going to happen.
the political marriage will be ending next year. And at the end of that marriage, we'll hear what the president will have to say. Because now he will have to speak whether the vice president will continue on the ticket or not. Secondly, this issue that the vice president, Mr. Toole, said that she's been part of the problem, I don't know. Remember one time the vice president left the country.
Is it fair to give him the opportunity to tell her what that problem is?
Yeah.
Mr. Toole?
Yes, I think if you watch some of the interview with Front Page Africa, she explained that it's not all the president's fault. She also said that some of it she will blame herself for not taking the initiative from the beginning to try to put stop to these things when it first started. She also said she blamed herself. The fact that she went to Banga or in Bon County to make that statement to say, this is our time, we will eat. So when I asked her that, she said, these are some of the reasons why people are not turning against her. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that has nothing to, it was not degrading CDC. That's something she spoke to her people. And someone went after her for that statement. So she cannot use that against her. Because she didn't criticize them, she was talking that people more join them. Now, here's the issue. One time I think the vice president traveled, and I think the president, either he left or something like this, she didn't tell the president. And when she came back, she made a statement. So she made several attempts to inform the president, but to no avail. So she had to leave on that conference. And she went back, said she apologized to the president, and they moved on. But here's the thing here. Everything that is happening to the vice president from people insulting her, the president of the Republic of Liberia, President Well, has approved of it. Because he is the president and that his second in command. How would this president sit down and people be insulting a vice president, supporters of you from your party, and you don't call nobody to caution them or to warn them? You don't do it. It means that you sanction the action of those people. I know people don't like to hear it, but that's a reality. Now, if they smoke that peace pipe, won't gotta be divided. I can show you that. Because it means that she don't have a principle to go back and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to run with him for the second time. It means that she don't have a principle. Because if people are insulting you, and because of election, they come back and say, oh, can't go again. Then what happens if that election over again? You'll go back to square one again. The disrespect start because why you are doing the power again.
But Mr. George, you have to understand she's a politician.
But
and politicians, Mr. George, most politicians don't think the way we will be thinking. I understand your point, but she just, you have to consider her also being a politician. She also considered this CDC as being part of her baby. So she's not one of those from the way you see things. She's not one of those who like to rock the boat. So once the people come out and said publicly that they are sorry, then I see no reason why she would want to say, no, I don't want to be part of you anymore.
No, I'm not saying that she should not be. It is her rights. But I said then with the people from the country, because of her, Bon County is suffering.
So, okay, so let me ask you, you inserted something into the conversation here, which is very crucial, of the three parties that form the coalitions of the ruling establishment. their term of reference next year, we will know precisely where you're going to be. Now, this is where we're going to also test the strength of the vice president, because the National Patriotic Party, NPP, you remember at a certain point in the time, they tried to infiltrate the system where they were trying to get her off from the leadership. And I believe that fracture is still there. Now, considering all that is unfortunate, when it comes to renewal of the arrangement, can she still say, okay, can she still commit NPP to the coalition, or will there be some sort of precondition? All right, well, I can do it this time around, but I need to do X, Y, Z. And you know, I know, most of the vice in this whole thing came about when some of her responsibilities, like the 72nd group of company, the lottery, that is honored from time to time in history, they are under the supervisions of the sitting vice president of the Republic of Liberia. That was stripped away. I don't know what are those responsibilities have been turned over, but as far as I'm concerned, they are still there. Considering all of this here, what could be her own political calculation as well, knowing all that we know she knows and all she herself has experienced? When they are going back into that negotiation room, what good decision can she make for herself?
Here is the thing. This thing has no guarantee, especially in African politics. When they need you, they will make all the concessions. But when they get to power, you got no more voice. So is she going back to say, okay, I want this done, I want it done? They say, okay, yeah, when we win, we'll do it. If she take it, that's up to her. But I would say this: if she take it, then of course I have a serious problem with her.
When you come by here to get, what would be that problem?
Oh, the problem, then we're going to divide Bonga vote. Because here's the thing here. Here's my point. You don't respect me. I help you to get somewhere, and you turn your back on me.
Do you think she has gone wrong in any way or direction with maybe the president or with the party she's formed part of the coalition? Do you think she has erred?
Oh yeah, she has a misstep in her party. I think it was it last week. The NPP had a conference, and she spoke at that conference. She said that the party should come, the National Patriotic Front Party should come together, and even if they think that she is the cause of the disunity, she will step down for the party to come together. Why is she making those moves in her party?
What's the purpose of that statement? Considering she is because they're talking about stepping down. She is, remember, she's the sitting vice president and happens to be the standard bearer of that president. And for her, that's quite fascinating. I hope to listen to that. To say, if you think that I am the problem, I will step down. Okay, you can step down from the leadership of the party. I don't know what the party hierarchy in term can do. She's no longer, because you remember what his name, the former party of James Bunny. You remember that fuse that broke up because they wanted to remove her, so that when they remove you as head of the party, potentially in a real political war, then you no longer have a constituency, you no longer have a base, and they can easily demoralize you. So when she is making that sort of putting that out there, don't you think she's setting the bookie trap for herself?
No, here's the thing. And you know, politics is money. You know, politics is money. Who are those who have the resources in the party? You have what they call Chief Suri Ali on her side. Those are the backbone of the party. Those are the people who can bring in money. So it's just saying that logically they would not want her to step down, because people will not be able to fill that slot economically. So how the party going to survive? How they going to pay the rentage? How they going to do this?
The liberal.
But she's throwing it out there to bring those people together again. So now she's trying to solidify her base. That, hey, telling the people now, CDC, I'm still here. You tried, you did not get this infiltration working. Now I'm here. You have no contempt with. This is a message that they're sending out to CDC. Look at Akaya Gray just yesterday. Vice President know what he said.
Okay.
The people in CDC, don't like Joy Howard Taylor. The hierarchy of CDC, they don't like her.
Mr. Tor.
Yes.
Is that a fair assertion on the part of Mr. George to say people in CDC do
Well,
not like Joy Howard?
yes. I think that's correct, because I also feel that if she made that statement, most likely knowing fully well who is the backbone of her party, she's not going to step down. Basically, is to tell Sedisha, and if they go to that party headquarters and have the conversation that she's want them to have, and this solidify their position, CDC will have a fight on their hand, because these are people that will not want to just basically walk away from this vice presidential position. They're not going to do it. If the president come 2023 and decide they're going to change ship or change the second captain in the middle of this sea, they're going to have some serious problem in trying to control this ship, because the Taylor party will not just walk away. They would definitely make noise. Okay. And the fact that in order for you to even take them out, it has to be done in consultation with parties, including some of the collaborating political party. You can't just get up, because that was the framework that brought them together. Hold on. Okay. Rule that you have to follow. You can't just get and say, I don't want the person anymore. You have to go through certain procedures. So if those procedures are not met, the Joy Howard party, they're not just going to lay down. You might find yourself going to the Supreme Court and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be messy.
Okay, hold on. Let me go to this caller here. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yeah, Ludi, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Good evening. Welcome.
I'm fine. Josh, thank you very much. My other Ludi, Mr. Toad, thank you very much. You see, we'll see a political drama in Liberia comes 2023. What did Burr say will meet a political drama come 2023? Jewel, she's a very learned woman. And in Bon County depend on her. Part of Lofa County depend on her. And this is what's going to happen. Jewel is going to run for the presidency of the Republic of Liberia to kick George Weah out of power. To show to George Weah that, look, this woman you've been there respecting, your officials of this particular government that I made, continue to disrespect. I'm going to show you that I'm 57 or 58-year-old woman. To give vote to the CPP. Remember what I'm saying.
Are you saying, hold on one second, please repeat yourself today. Are you saying the vice president will contest for the presidency comes 2023?
Yes, comes 2023. Joel will run for president, and Ellen is behind Joel. Ellen will support Joel. If Ellen cannot find her way through CPP to break down CPP, listen to what I'm saying. To break down CPP, when I say break down CPP, to take away ANC and Unity Party, because that's her trick. Now, that's her idea. That's what she wants to do. How did MPP get those speakers this few days? Tell me. How did they obtain that speaker this few days? There is a political stigma that's going on in Liberia that you people cannot talk about. Where the MPP get the money? But just say it cannot work. People who have money, if they take Joel from there will be no more MPP. But remember though, Mana Ellie is there. She playing her political game. She playing her political part. You know, she manipulating among those political parties, Nime with ANC, but I don't think she will get her way through. But she will go through Joe.
Okay.
Because she don't want Joseph Boakai to be president of Liberia. Watch what I'm saying. Your analysis, you guys can analyze things. Your go ahead and analyze it. She will run to show to George Weah that this is what we don't want in this country. And at the end, she will support CPP.
That's quite fascinating. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay. Someone just put Gary in the sand, post saying that Gary already. Joel Howard Taylor. I mean, nothing is off the table. She has said that in the past. I mean, she made those assertions that someday she wants to be a president. We just do not know the timeline. Whether she can use this at this point in time, that's the $1 million question. Something. Can you why you not your audio, please?
Yes, but I'm not too comfortable with that analysis. And here's the reason. And I could be wrong. Because to see now that this learned lady will now try to...
Oh, wait, what do you mean by this lady? You just try to attach some sort of condition. This landlady is dragging your tongue. What that means?
Well, I just don't see her to try to make way to be the first to throw the stone. That I don't see. Now, if she's been pushed out, and for some reason, because if she get pushed out illegally, they will find themselves going to the Supreme Court. Obviously, there's no question asked, because they have framework. The guy that is the framework that brought these people together. It's there. It's documented. So if the document that brought these people together is being violated, illegally violated, then the vice president and her people can go to court. But to say I'm going to circumvent all of that, and because of X, Y, and Z, I'm going to go seek from the vice presidential position. I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I just don't see it. I don't see it, because you would think if she really want to be the president, she would, knowing her, I believe that she will follow the procedure, go through as a vice president, and if Dr. Weah leaves on a good note between both of them, she then will be pushed up to be next in line. That's how these things supposed to be. But to see it, to say no, I think I'm going to go my own way, I just don't see it. I could be wrong.
So this is what I'm going to do right now. Some of these old soundbite where these raw edges and on from the vice president, but we remember that sudden day when the election, when they were all in good tag, when everything, they were on course with everything. Let's look at the jubilations at the time under the sycamore tree when the results were announced. The president and the vice president, they were sharing something in common. Let's look at this. Okay. That is one. When after that result came, let's see some of the event.
The president didn't give me an annual message. Cloud, we are saying having party to Jamaica. I want to see all the party women, including the national chair. We went to Jamaica. The thing I'm telling you, that one saw drink is a dummy at the 2 hour were in a play. I drank that one saw drink for 2 hours. They can't finish. That one saw drink I drink for 2 hours. I was confused. We entered Jamaica. The president sitting answer with his wife and Piso. I go in, they lay all over. Mange said now he put a table, the table that was under the pantry that I play in Western. And to where all of people may say now. So I wanted to go speak to the president first. I waved to him, but I was going directly to the president. I can't wave to him. He hold one chair, second. I said, Chief, let me speak to the chief. I'm coming here now. He said, when you go and see Jesus, you see Maga in your Maga, what do you do? Can't say, yes, I'm here too. I said, can't, yeah, we're calling you. I can't, Sarah. I said, the way in my heart. I said, the way they call 2 people calling me like that, let me go sit down. I said, now, he put my chair right here. I sat down. The next person to me that was finance minister Samia Tue. Right now, the government running at 3 people run the government. They didn't want to tell the president what to do. There was in Koji, Samia Tue, and Natana Mange.
Okay, that's how the water start getting muddy. When you want to see Jesus, you got to see injured Michael, right? That's not what Michael, comedian. Folks that are calling, we're going to pick up the phone. Now we're coming to this, one of the Auckland event, which was very deadly, and it's on record. We don't want to discuss anything in isolation. However, we're going to give you a few seconds. Viewer description is advised. Again, viewer description is advised. Let's roll the tape.
We are not answerable to any one of you. That's 3. Right? This is a private run institution. And so when we are saying anything, we are saying it for the common people because we want the country to be the best in terms of peace, in terms of governance. Remember, I won't call some people names, which I respect. There have been other issues. Talk to me. This issue about Lpr-Tv, the current representative to the United Nations. You had Lpr-Tv using Sami. Sami, he works in the government at the National Disaster Management Agency. And then they've gone on social media. They've branded me all such names. Say all kinds of things about me. But this is the Sekou Sharif that has been able to give his life for the same people. Today, right? I said I will let you know how much he has received in terms of compensation, in terms of money for hospitals, in terms of money for other areas. I'm going to give you the 3 separate areas, and I'm going to tell you how much he has received. Now, wickedness, ambition, hatred, undermining spirit, power, greed has been able to take Jua Howard Taylor to do what she's doing to our country. But let me explain this to you. There's a guy by the name of Mali Kamoun. Mali Kamoun, most of you don't know, Mali Kamoun used to live in the United States. And he committed a crime in the United States. Mali Kamoun. I want you to get this name. Mali Kamoun. Mali Kamoun used to work in the United States. He committed a crime in the United States. He left the United States. He ran to Liberia. When he came to Liberia, but before then, he and our Vice President Drew Howard, that I was here today, I was telling somebody, I said today, me, I will say something. Some of y'all will be so confused. Y'all know about this woman. Malik Kamoun came to Liberia, but before coming to Liberia, Malik Kamoun and the Vice President Drew Howard, they've had some, interactions, based on their personal feelings, right? And so Malik Kamoun came to Liberia. He committed crime in the United States. We all know that the United States is very sophisticated to the extent they go after whatsoever they want to go after in terms of getting the information they need. So when he came to Liberia, because of the crime he committed in the United States. They were searching after him. But Malik Kemu now is working. Malik Kemu is a wife to Jua Hawatila. I want you to listen to something this morning, and I want you to get this clear. Malik Kemu is a boyfriend to Jua Hawatila.
Okay, that's when it started getting ugly. That's a radio talk show host who at Freedom FM, formerly with Freedom, now they are Voice of Liberia. And this is a vice president lately.
To explain. So you think about it. You open your eyes and your ears. Any money they want bring to eat, you let it. If they bring money, you eat it because they'll be bringing money to divide. But anybody that will bring money to divide, they're not in your interest tomorrow. They will say, I pay for that food. Ain't you not here before? Yeah. So they bring the money here, you eat it. That free money, that stolen money. Because nothing you wife have for you, just take it and divide it. The only money you can divide, that money what you wife for. A person should not be bribing people for vote. You should come and talk to your citizens, explain to them what you would like to do, and then ask them for the vote. If they can come bribe you, tomorrow you will not see it. But the man used to come here before, you will not see
it. Oh my goodness. So Samson too. That was one of the bizarre thing. Sekou Sharif, the owner, where his name says Science, is within the security apparatus, work for the government. It's good. You can have a soundbite, Marie, to want to welcome you and all of our good folks here. But this is the guy who humiliated the sitting vice president. Come on, somebody talk about him. Why somebody can talk about me? Why somebody can say Alfonso is this blah 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 when I sit and put my house on other people? I mean, who is he? What? I still try to kind of wrap this around my neck. This guy humiliated to the extent went so personal and tried to he did and told the vice president. It took time. People talked to her before I think the Ministry of Information. There was some sort of explanation. So they have gone through a lot that we can even explain. When we try to pull all the tape here, it would just go. No, I don't know. She's forgiving this? Is this something that she has let go? Can they come back together to be how it started, or looking at the images we saw under the sycamore tree initially? And Sekou, they're still within the airwave. Even though he's not a government employee or something, but the owner of that, the proprietor or the CEO, he works for the government of the Republic of Liberia. I have no apprehension. Whatever he did that time, it must meet the consensus, or his boss should get an idea. That's my opinion. That's my view. Nobody will come on Lpr-Tv and just say anything. I mean, even though we do not limit people they are talking, but hey, there's somehow, some way, a starter of limitation in putting certain thing out there. Something.
Well, the video you just played, it was very disturbing as far as I'm concerned. For me, the first time, and even every time that I watch it, because the young man is young enough, and the vice president old enough to be the mom, to be his mom. So for you to come out, even if she's disliked by you and the rest of the group, but to come and discuss her private activities in public, that was disheartening.
Is it fair to say someone who out there say when you are public officials, you don't have any privacy? Is that fair to make that analysis?
Well, this is not the case. It is. You can argue that. But when we take on our Liberian culture, this is not the case. However, for CDC and member of sedition and even their supporter, this is how they treat women. Sedition. You remember when Madame Sali was in office, things that they used to say and do to her pictures and things which I don't care to describe here. This is how sedition. This is how they run politics. They deal with women, politicians, as though they are not mother, they are not sisters and daughters. But this is far from the truth, because these women, believe it or not, they are somebody else's daughter, somebody else's mom, and somebody else's sisters. But the way they deal with them, because they disagree with them on policy or whatever, that should not put you in a position to insult a woman or even try to discuss a woman issues out in public. Now, you can say that's politics and she's a fair game. Okay, so be it. But now people are complaining when these things now turn around to be the same kind of attitude, to be sent back to CDC and the CDC hierarchy, which I don't care to discuss here there as well. People are now getting upset. So the idea of the vice president, she's upset. Then when the election came, they didn't make a good idea. I mean, they didn't make a good deal of it. They were all over the place. And so she's a fighter anyway. So she's not somebody that you can just drive off the stage. It's not happening. It's not happening. CDC, they got a fighter on their hand. So for them to think that the vice president, because she's a very soft-spoken person, and you think you're going to just come out and wave your rudeness against her, and you think the rudeness go two ways. She can want to, if she wants to, she can be rude as well. But why would she do that? She's highly educated. These are the kinds of things that I keep saying, because international community, they're watching. Who's the IMF boss woman? The United States, U.S. ambassador to the U.S., to the United Nations, a woman. Okay, and look at Biden administration. Women, me too. These are kinds of things when the vice president most likely have already passed the kind of the people know now, so they know these things. And who's the former president? It's also on the side of the vice president. So the CDC and Dr. Weir, they're not going to win this thing. In fact, not just this, you don't win against women. You try your best to compromise, but at the same time, you don't say, I'm the man. You don't do that, I'm the man stuff. That thing happened total years ago. You can't do that anymore and try to get away with it. It won't happen. You can't do it and be successful, because women are just as educated, if not even more. And women are just as sophisticated, if not even more, than the men we have today. So you can't come out here and try to be disrespectful to the lady because you disagree with her on policy. That's ridiculous. And they're going to pay the price. They're going to pay a political price for these things. And they're coming. And in fact, they just pay a little bit of it already. So they're not done yet.
Mr. Joy, fair analysis?
Yes, but before I come on, I wanted to say something here. Look, the vice president will not run as president of Liberia. And if she do, I will not support her, even though I got nothing, but I will not. I will be one of those who will be speaking against it. Because there are something, she has a baggage, not of her own creation, but because her former husband. So we have to be very careful. Not because I'm from Bonka and someone said, oh, the woman run then I just jump home. Yeah. No. The position she's in is okay for her. But if she make that 10 to say she's running for the presidency, I'm sorry for her. Because the kitchen sink, they will throw her out, I will not believe it.
That would be the end of her political career, you think?
Yes, that would be. So I suspect what she would do, she'll form herself and will go to one of the groups so she can remain relevant within the political space of Liberia. But to run
when you say one of these groups, were you speaking in terms? Or what are you talking about? Which group?
I believe, now let me say this.
But fair to mention, right, before you come in, there are a lot of friends within the opposition columns. Most of them worked for her before. They know one of the very Darius Dillon and all of those people here. Is there any probability that she can be accommodated to kind of like deepen into the establishment, the ruling establishment, if and only if, for discussion purposes, when things I fall apart? Do you think the opposition can bring her in? Would that resonate with the electorates?
Oh yes, she has a weight. She has a follower. Don't forget this. So people want her on their team to boost their team up. So, but to say that they will carry her as a presidential vice president, no. But they would need her to play a pivotal role in some of the opposition group. That is why you see she's trying to position herself. That's the trump card she's using. That's why she's using. So people, CDC, got a problem on hand because the vote they had dug for themselves. How you think President Weah will feel to go back to her and say, hey, no, we got to work together? When Samuel Twitter don't like her, Najaya Magi don't like her, Jefferson Akaya Graydon, Molba they don't like her. How can she go back there? How can she fix it? All the promises they made, they are not living up to the commitment on the part, offering jobs to the MPP people. They are not done so.
What do you think, guys? What do you think running through our heads looking all of this here? And somebody made a comment here, wrote something here. The actions of Representative Gray, I do not prepare here tonight to play it. In subsequent, I'm going to bring it here. But SAMSON, you listen, I believe you listened to Akara's Gray yesterday, correct?
No, I wasn't able to do so, but I have the video. I'm going to listen to it. But it, despite, go ahead.
Yeah, so is that a tough decision making for her to continue on the political path that she's on at the end of this, the arrangements of the three political party? Would that be a tough decision to say, okay, I would die with this system here, I would die with CDC, literally, I will be with them, I can't go, whatever happens, I gotta let it go. What sort of decision would she be making? She don't usually,
from my perspective,
one of the things I kind of like admire about her, she's not a person who always faces the camera very suddenly, but when she speaks, she also don't hold back. You know, you remember with Rockney see it. I listened to her on Spoon, so we invited her yet. He said you were going to do it, but at the same time, there were other things that she talked behind the scene. We don't want to mention here, but she doesn't hold back. She always try to speak her mind, and there's some things that she really talk. You can't call me 1 o'clock and say, "Come go to meeting." I'm a woman. I gotta be in bed, and I need a rest, and all of that. So, who really feeling the tension? Is she feeling the tension, or President Weah and the CDC at this point in time?
Well, like I said, so from what I stand, I think the vice president is in the perfect position. Politically, the vice president is in the perfect, because she cannot be viewed as a spoiler. These things been happening, and they for a very long time, and they've been happening publicly. These things was not done in isolation. And as these things happen, she's the vice president. As these things happen, the international community are paying attention. So she doesn't even have to say nothing. She can just stay. As you correctly stated, people in CDC don't want her. In fact, if you listen to Monuba Maru Liquor Talk tape, you will see, hear that they were planning to get her out of that. So it's been in work for a while. So those are things that she can put out there. Now, what I think most likely going to happen, if this tour, as I've been predicting and I've been pronouncing all evening, as a farewell tour, if I'm wrong, then this what's going to happen. Dr. Weah and CDC cannot afford for this lady to leave. So like I said before, just before the election, Dr. Weah is a man, he don't eat crab with she. He will come and make sure the Liberian old people, the Liberian other society, they absorb them. They will make such a big deal and bring them to Monrovia, to Garn Hall, to break quota with white chicken and bring it into a real Liberian tradition where they would now pay homage, pay respect to her as a sister and mother. And the case finished, Mr. So.
Okay, the case finished. Before Pat George can, let me go to the line here and get our caller here. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, Mr. So, my name is Ramon. I'm calling from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay, thank you for calling. Welcome to the show. I know we've been talking a lot of crazy stuff here. We're running through your hair.
I think I want to speak on the speak on the vice president,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening to your two guests who were on the show, and what they were saying is like, I'm not understanding what they're saying.
Okay.
And let me realistic here. And this is what I got a problem with the vice president. If you're someone who got a principle, you have principle, and you say, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. This is what happened for Joseph Bola to lose the presidential election 2017. He sat there for 12 years, took salary for 12 years, and at the end of the day, he said he was an Oka Pack. People need to have integrity and principle. If these notions of our president, it is not going away. The best thing she can ever do is to resign. If she resigns, then that people will do her. They will respect her because don't forget she's a main player on that team. She's the number 2 person on that team. She's the number 2 person on that team. If anything happened to President White today, she will lead the coalition. But she kept whining and whining and whining. And things are not going your way. You think you want it to be resolved.
So do you think she's playing her car here? Do you think she's not playing the right
way? And the city have to do some broker today. He lost the election. He sat for 12 years. He sat there.
Can we compare her scenario, the case, what is happening now, whatever reason, with that of the United Party, Joseph Boyka? Can we compare those two? Are they similar?
You know so. If you're a man of principle, if you're part of an opposition, and it goes contrary to your constitution or your bylaw constitution, the best thing to do is leave that organization. Because you don't leave, you're part of the problem. And that's my problem with her.
So, in essence,
so what happened? So what happened yesterday in the Senate?
In the Senate,
Those senators, the SG and the AG. The AG had the photo explain, and she cut it off. And when she get to vote, that's what when you listen to Representative Crazy said. I'm not speaking about the vice president. I'm talking to the people who are leading the session because she was the one.
He was talking to her indirectly because she's a presider.
I'm talking about the presiding officer. I'm not speaking to her as vice president, but the presiding officer.
How can you distinguish those two?
Yes, she was hearing that forum. She was a presiding officer.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Don't go away. Let I get another caller here. Maybe they will want to counter argue your point. 713-3953. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening to everybody over there, Mr. Tom, Mr. George. So this is Kim. I'm calling from Houston, Texas.
Okay.
As a son of Don County, I would like to speak on this vice president issue. First, I wanted to go to the previous conversation, but this is more important to me right now.
Okay.
Yesterday, let me just pick up from where the last caller was speaking for. Yesterday, I watched the hearing at the Liberia Senate. And I want for people to understand this. The vice president of the Republic of Liberia has a constitutional duty to be serving in a particular position in the Senate.
Right.
As the presiding officer. There are rules and order over there. And if there are other government officials invited over there to speak on issues related to whatever resolution that has been passed in the Senate, that particular government official has to respect the rule and order over there. Whoever is presiding has a gavel to allow you to speak or not to speak. And the second thing is that he's doing the Liberian people. He's not working for the president of Liberia. The people of Liberia voted her. And the same way the cats vote for George Weah, that's the same way the cats vote for her. So, working together, they should understand one another and they should do things to benefit the people of Liberia. Now, if there are elements in the society, we saw the vice president of the Republic of Liberia, and some of those elements work or enjoy the comfort of the executive, that is the president. I think the president should come out, if not publicly, but privately, and speak directly to them on what they are doing against the vice president. But let's say, for example, like what the guy in Freedom Ever studio there, you know, publicly they're respecting the president. But in a way, they are like long time now. But on the present issue with that of the what they call it of VP in the Senate over there, I think she did a wonderful job, and the CDC pushed the applaud for that. And lastly, on the point that Mr. George made, I don't think the vice president will be going for. I don't think she will want to run for the presidency. If not doing that, will be like starting herself in the back. I don't think she want to do that. The position right now is okay for her, and I don't want her to resign. It's fair to work for the Liberian people. They have to do something to succeed as CDC government. And lastly, the previous issue we're talking about, if the president of Liberia wants to be a musician, he should be a musician. We got so much going on in our country right now. You know, the economy is bad. Like what is the government saying? The CDC government said they're going to be employing 20,000 persons a year. How many people have come out and said we are employing 20,000 persons, or we have created 20,000 jobs in the economy every year since they came to power? We can hear that there's no data coming out. Then the president had a studio. You know how long it takes for you to produce one?
No, but this one he didn't go to studio. That's just the same old song he tried to kind of showcase his talent.
No, who knows right now if he's in studio?
Oh,
who knows? Because after the nationwide, probably going to go in studio to bring another song.
Oh, my goodness.
So if you want to be a musician, you can resign and go do it. It's not enough to everybody got talent.
Oh, my goodness.
The president in the kind of time I put in a position where unemployment, the economy is bad, and business is worse, everything. You know, we need to find what we're talking about building our culture. We need a leader that will be focused. Not to be studio producing Mr. Lion. Who get time about Mr. Lion? If you go Mr. Lion, come on and tell about people. Don't be around town talking about Mr. Lion, man. You know, thank you so. And then the video you show that man also. The video you show where CDC, where Georgia are coming. No, every time I watch that video, I can say, yeah, he must be very cool. The guy was very traumatizing over there. You see Georgia crying over there. And they see what happened. See what happened. The people dying. The president sees some other issue. We go to the church and, oh my God, he must be very cool. But anyway, thank you so much. Last time, if you want to be a musician, Mr. So tell him, let's go in studio talk about our presidency. Thank you so much. Okay, come on. Okay. 816, make your final comment before I go to my guys. Before we wrap up. Because later he bossed us all this evening and he saying he want to be a musician. That guy really loud. He's funny. But here's the problem, and so to be realistic, she must be grateful that she's the second person in command to this government. She should.
Is she not grateful? Is she not gracious? Is she not grateful?
No. For what she's doing, I don't think so. I think she thinks she has something privilege to do what she wants to do. You see, you have to know when you're vice president. You have to know your role.
All right.
What you do. And President Brown never come up. I mean, she need to hold it down, or she just talking about people around and this and that. It gotta be an overall discussion. If you come up with that, keep making one or two and comment against it all the time. It makes it suspicious. That's why people keep saying that, oh, she's the president in Iran and this and that.
All right, my man. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much.
All right. Folks, I think that's the last caller here, almost 11 o'clock here. Gentlemen, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I know these are endless conversations. There's no way that we can conclude all here, but we are about to go. Mr. Toy, do you have remedy to this whole thing here?
How do you like my gown, Mr. So?
Oh.
Do I not look like a parliament chief tonight? Mr. To, can call your tongue? I see your question.
Well, you should get Chappie to be singing behind you.
There you go. He tries to be a distraction to this whole program. Now we are about to conclude it. This is the same Walmart cocktail he brought, and all our audience will contaminated here. He want to bring it.
No, Mr. So, I know time is fast spent. I want to thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, interesting conversation, to be honest with you. I think this is what Liberian Public Radio platform would do for you. You come over here where we've been out here and going to almost 2 hours, and nobody have used any kind of language that is offensive, except for the video that you play. But those of us that sit here and try to analyze these things, we put our thought into these things. We don't expect the audience to agree with us, but I think if the audience are there, I believe sometimes, even if they don't agree with us, but the fact that they give us the opportunity to express themselves, and I appreciate that. I truly appreciate that. So I think we need to do this thing from time to time. We want to, for me, and even for Pat George, none of us speaking based on malice or envious, jealousies of any of those kinds of stuff. These are our opinion, I believe, and we're speaking. And in fact, two of these two gentlemen and myself, we don't get along on a lot of stuff. So, but this is what we do. We come out here, and whatever issue that is in front of us, we try to analyze it strictly based on what we know and what we believe in. I think the audience will be disservice. We will do the audience disservice if we come out here because we want viewership to go high, and therefore we try to take up position that we ourselves cannot defend. That is dishonesty at the height, and we don't intend to. I want to thank you very much, Mr. So, for sitting in for me tonight. It's a wonderful thing. Before we go, let me just show you something very quickly. And I will say this, and during the 2000, I believe 2011, 2018 or something. What was it? 2017 election. Before the election, Liberty Party had a convention over there in Lofa County. And what happened, and I'm just telling you, anybody can do that. What happened here was the Liberty Party USA, under the leadership of Mr. Philip Swart, we all Liberty Party members in the United States were asked to form a group of professionals. If you're a medical doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're accounting, if you're engineers, each of us we form our group, and we were asked to put a policy, a statement from the perspective of your own area of discipline. You come out with what you think Liberty Party, if Liberty Party were to succeed, what are some of the things they would do? And we did that. We spent the entire group, we spent almost a month or two trying to put these things together. Send a draft in, send it back, correct it, send it back. We did all of those things. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it seemed to me CDC they were not even ready. They're not prepared. They have nothing. They have the proper agenda that was written by few members here of Liberty Party, wrote this thing for CDC, and, they hired them. That's fine. But because they didn't come out, excuse me?
You say who wrote that for CDC? Liberty Party?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to call their name. Just check it out. But some of them are members of Liberty Party. I know that for sure. But anyhow, the people that wrote that, give it to CDC, and the fact that CDC themselves, they were not able to write these things, so they don't take it literally. If you were to go to CDC hierarchy member and drop this thing, they won't even recognize it because they never wrote it, and they have no clue what's in it. They go around trying to pretend to the international community that they put this thing together, and they're not even talking about these tiny sedition. These tiny sedition. We will whip them come 2023, Mr. So. Thank you for the opportunity, and I will see you.
That the Liberty Party, if they are one, that their policy handbook you have.
Mr. So, that's not all it is. That's not all. But let me just read something to you very quickly from your head, from the handbook. Liberty Party recognized that the development and maintenance of the national network of highway is a process requires several specialized civil engineering discipline working in collaboration with planner, policymaker, politician, international partners. CDC member, they got the kind of thing. They don't know what they think. What they think is.
SAMSON
They have no clue.
SAMSON
The only person they depend on, Samuel Twe. And that's why Samuel Twe sometimes he talk to people like they are nothing, because he's very condescending to them. Because he know he the only big man among them according to him. But so, now in Liberty Party. In Liberty Party, Mr. Soul, you and Pajo, you come and join us. In Liberty Party, all ideas are respected. Every one of us respect each other.
Okay, you just told us here if they can't clean you can't clean your chairman. They play that ratting that you want us to go. So
no, don't start that. I beg you. Why you gonna bring your kind of thing up?
Yeah, the question yet, Nani trying to ask you, where is the upside down coglight, Mr. Toe?
Wait, the upside down collar, Dr. We are using the brush. He cut in the stem more than 4 factor because you are using the wrong side. Yeah, me. Ask something to take that collar, choop, it gone. But you saw the stay you were cutting, and you saw how many times he chopped that stay because he was using the wrong side of the collar. Choop, until somebody gee. That on the right side of the collar, you say, oh, then you flip it around before the collar started making mark.
The man who say you were born, I know he was what Sastan, and he can't throw collar. I can say brush.
Oh my goodness! Then you started.
Anyway, thank you, Mr. So we appreciate it.
Okay, Pa Joyce, what's your take home message?
Let me say this. I want to say thank you to you and Mr. Toe and all our listeners,
our viewers. Yeah, they are very tired,
and other contributors. But on a very serious note, the vice president will not resign. She got a trump card. She will not resign. It came a time that it was genuine that she was about to resign. But I think some people told us, hey, don't do it. And now here is a big problem for CDC. Next year, how they're going to cement the relationship with the vice president when all these guys, the hierarchy of the party don't like her. And President Weah don't like her, actually. He himself doesn't like her. So it's just obvious now. But how to get her out, that's the problem they are facing. So, but we as political junkies, we'll be wishing and we'll be following and see how the next year going to end up. But this is a very serious thing. And look how yesterday what played up. I can't agree. This lady was just performing her constitutional duty. That's all she was doing. What do you expect her to do? To tell members of the Senate do not speak on this issue when they have summoned people? You should be vexed with your justice minister. Because he lied on an oath. You should be happy with them that they didn't send him to jail yesterday. I can't agree. You should be happy. But you said that you get her to venerate this woman to talk to her like if to say that she worked for you. But this is not strange to me. I also CDC is one party that insult women. It is in the DNA. I say it. It is in the DNA. The CDC government, they don't have no respect for women. Period. They don't have no respect for women. What they do here, they just try to show some light that whole, they act up that they respect women, but they don't respect women. Because that's one of the things, some of us who come from a certain ethnic group. Where I come from, the tribe belongs to, if any man insult a woman, that man got no respect. Because they will always tell you that's the last thing you should ever do to insult any woman, regardless of what happened. But these people, I hate to say it, I don't know the homes and things they came from, So they just got it. I mean, it is a pleasure to see those insult women. It is in there. Look at Solomon George. Pictures are there. In the hall of the Capitol building. He joined cussing women like that. But CDC don't see these things here. It's Yaga Koloba, they get mad with for insulting President Weah. They don't see the records are there, they don't get mad with their own. But when Yaga insult President Weah, then they go all hell break loose that this man doesn't respect leaders. But what people are doing to the vice president? That's a female. Where we should be going? So I just want to say thank you. And Boku, you should try to get Chapter Tip behind you. So saying you're a chief of total, you can be singing the song. Chapter, you know him.
I'm waiting for his party. You know how many times when I see this sort of binder and thing there, you're gonna be the same old thing.
You got I don't know if the rock can take off.
You can even handle your chairmanship right now in crisis, and then you want to come.
So I thought we said good night. When are you gonna close it?
Oh
no, I'm just telling you, you may own a closing. So why are you afraid of? You can bring Liberty Party binder here and development policy. Why I can't even turn it over to the government?
For what? What government?
But yeah, the man said the paper they wrote, it was not CDC that wrote that paper.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's true, Mr. So I tend to agree with him because the document was written after the election. So it means that people had no policy.
Yes. I just didn't want to say that, but thank you for saying that. You're right. Thank you.
So that's how we're gonna leave it. Thank you.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Okay, well, folks, I want to thank all of our contributors, onliners, your comments, your reactions. This is what we do here. We like to get to issues of substance, and we allow our followers, our viewers, to also participate. And all of those people, that have been calling in and been writing your comments. We highly appreciate that. We also accept recommendation as to how we can improve our systems and what we need to do. Not just on the politics, we also try to talk other issues relative to politics, development, social issue as well. So you can message us as LIB Messenger to the Fanso Z and so send a suggestion. Things that we're supposed to talk about, we are not talking about it. We can also create a talking point. And again, the challenge is out there. Most of our contributors here, they are men, so we want to make it proportional. We want to make it balanced. If you're a lady, the only thing we can say is just get ready, see what happens on the social, on the field. People will, of course, critique you, but if you want to be a contributor here on LPR, female, it doesn't matter. As long as you want to discuss the issue, let us know. We will also bring you on here to have your say into what we are talking about. All right. So I want to thank you so much. Our prayers and thoughts to the bereaved family of those 8 persons that including the graduate. It's a very painful, very, very painful. After all of these years, graduated, go to have a party to, kind of get the stress out of herself, and only the next day to see that it's helpful. I want to thank you to Emily, Elisha, and all of these people. Thank you for your participation. Subscribe with our channel, Liberia Public Radio. We have a YouTube version. If you even have an ad, you want to run an ad, let us know. We're going to do that. Until then, have a pleasant weekend. Stay safe, drive carefully, observe all of the health protocols. The virus is still in the making. Do everything possibly you can to protect yourself. Let us keep discussing our country in an honest fashion. Not in a demeaning factions. We can make suggestions. We can critique the government, but we'll put forward suggestions. And we got to hold the opposition accountable. They also need to start telling us as to how they can conduct and how they can govern different than what the CDC is doing, because they're looking for state power. So they need to come clean as well.
Give him the higher praise. Hallelujah. Give him the higher Come let's pray, Jehovah. Come let's worship Jehovah.
Hey, my own mate, Abut, Fufanant, good evening, ACF, Liberia, that's good, a bad day, and all of you folks, thank you so much for chilling in with us. By God's willing, same time, same stations. I want to be back here on Sunday. I won't be here tomorrow. We're going to be back here on Sunday with the regular editions of Freedom Watch coming to you live from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. Until then, have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
He deserves the praise. Hallelujah. Giving the hype.